So, is Instacart still worth it in 2022? Can you make good money off of it? Before I answer that question, did you know that the default tip on Instacart is 5%? Anyways, back to the question, back to the reason why you're on this video. Is it worth to do Instacart in the year 2022? Well, that's kind of a mixed question because on one side, it's really worth it to do Instacart, but on the other side, sometimes it's not worth it at all. Now, one way it'll make it worth it is if you set aside a day or maybe half a day and just go to a major city. So whether it's Washington, D.C., Dallas, Texas, San Diego, California, wherever it may be, any major city that you can see on a map. Those major cities typically have the most stores and the busiest areas. But if you're really trying to make good money, consider going to a big city because that's when you'll see the most income. That's when you make the most money. Now, another thing that you should also think about is consider why you're even doing this stuff. This goes for everything: DoorDash, Instacart, Grubhub, any of these gig apps, Shoveler, any of these apps, right? Why are you doing it? Are you trying to pay off your car? Are you trying to pay off student loans? Are you trying to save money to buy a house? Like, think of the end game when you're doing this. It's called the gig economy for a reason. Like, it's not a career. I know I say that in every single one of my videos, but all these apps, they can change just like that. You could be making 300, 200 a day for maybe 2 or 3 straight months. And then after that, you can barely make $100 a day. And that's actually how Instacart used to be. Like, a lot of people took it for granted, me included. Like, you could easily make $300, sometimes $400 a day. And like, a lot of people would be content with just making 200. But it's because a lot of people took it for granted. So anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Just figure out why you're doing this. And that'll make the whole process a lot easier. That'll give you purpose when you're doing orders. The days that you're not motivated to go out, everyone's in a different situation. So find out what the reason is that you're on these platforms. And that's gonna help out a lot. That's gonna make or break it for you. It's gonna let you know if it's worth it or not for you. Also, another thing that's kind of like common sense and people kind of forget about it a lot of times is that make sure that your car is gas efficient. If it's not, you probably don't want to take those 10-mile orders or those 15-mile orders. That's never worth it for anybody with a freaking Prius. Like, let's be real here. So think about the gas. Consider just taking the orders that are close to you. Don't be afraid to cherry pick. Unless this is your only source of income, don't be afraid to cherry pick. Like, if there's a good order, but it's like 10, 15 miles away, it's just not for you. Don't take it. Just leave it alone. There's gonna be another good order. It's gonna come sooner or later. There's gonna be another good order that you can grab and make your money that way. So think about gas. Think about your gasoline. Also keep track of which gas stations are even the best priced ones. Typically the ones by the highways are usually the more expensive ones. So if you're someone who goes to the gas station every day, every other day, consider gasoline. You wanna be smart and strategic about the way you go about things. Also, another thing to keep in mind, this will also make it break it for you. Think about taxes. Instacart or none of these other apps take taxes out. They don't take anything into consideration. That all falls on you. You're an independent contractor, so make sure you get that done. There are a lot of good deals out there that'll help you get your taxes done. If you actually go in the apps, Lyft and Shift have a deal for those who are doing their taxes on their own. So just mess around with the settings and go into your profile and see what you guys have available on whatever platform you're on. A lot of these platforms are partnered with big tax companies, TurboTax, H&R Block. So find out the best deals for you and figure out the best way to do your taxes. Don't forget about your taxes. Always set money aside for that. And also, this is not tax advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just gotta put that out there. Just take care of the taxes. Don't forget about those. Now, if you're in an area where you really can't find a job, like you can't find a job, consider being an in-store shopper. On Instacart, You can either be a full service shopper or just a shopper. Now the shopper gets paid hourly. They're typically in the stores. Well, actually, they're always in the stores shopping for orders. Now, they shop, and then that's why on the platform you see delivery only. You see delivery only orders. Those orders have been shopped for by people that are in the store shopping those all day. I know for a fact that they can't go over 29 hours. I know that. They get to choose their schedule, and they get to choose which store they work at. If you go into your app, there's more details on that. There's also on the Instacart website, there's a bunch of information regarding that. So consider being an in-store shopper if the full service experience is not for you. Give that a try and see how it goes. Now, those are just some of the key things that you should consider. Now, I might have left a couple things out. I might have not said things in this video, but those are some of the bigger things that you need to focus on determining if Instacart's actually worth it. It's 2022, pay structure is completely different. It's a little bit more, it's like a lot more saturated. A lot of areas are saturated. It depends per person if it's really worth it for you anymore. I hope that video was helpful for you guys. It was JL Talks. I'll see you guys on the next one.